Indigo lowered her hand from her face and wiped at her eyes. Dima, do you mean...
Natalie.
Pavel's eyes widened. Pavel's eyes widened, his hands sliding off Indigo's back, though he kept a hand planted on her shoulders for reassurance. Dima. Natalie? The person you ran off because she couldn't stand you anymore? Natalie? That one? Dima ran a hand through his hair, his other hand gripping his hip. We don't have much of a choice here. Natalie was our best extractor. We just have to get her to come back, and... She's been MIA, Dima. Sasha quietly stepped away from the group and walked over to the window. His gaze darted over the skyline of Sabina.
Yes.
She's elusive and hard to track. And let's face it, none of us know the streets like she does. Then what do you suggest otherwise? I know the streets. Well, not me, Sasha does. The room became still. Indigo sighed and stared down at her hands. Dot, dot, dot.
I'll do it.
I'll find her. Sasha turned back from the window to see everyone's eyes on him.
No.
Absolutely not.
Huh?
What? Why? Sasha, I'm sure you're capable, but... No, he is capable. He knows the ins and outs of the city better than we do. But he's had no formal training. Why would I need training? I'd just be looking around the city for this Natalie person, right? Dima shook his head, frowning.
No.
Sasha, you're inexperienced. We wouldn't be able to guarantee your safety. I cannot afford to lose another person. Indigo can be in his ear. Then we can have Vadim on standby if he needs it. But Sasha blends in. Sasha is inconspicuous. I could keep a safe eye on him. Like you kept a safe eye on Jonas? I think not. Still love you, though. Sasha clenched his jaw. Indigo looked between them and turned towards Sasha, her eyebrows upturned in worry. You said yourself we don't have any other options. It's the absolute least I can do if it means getting Mishka back. Are you all seriously considering this? Yes. Jonas was a skilled agent and I was unable to protect him. Now you want to throw a civilian into the field? Dima threw his hands up and turned for the door. He flung it open and left without another word. Not him throwing a temper tantrum. I'm gonna go after Dima. Wasting no more time, Sasha bolted for the door. His heart pounding in his chest, Sasha caught up to Dima and grabbed his forearm. Dima's body jostled at the touch. He stared at Sasha in disbelief. I've lived my entire life downtown. If there's a corner of the city I haven't seen, then I know someone who does. Sasha raised his voice, his throat tightening with the strain. Sasha, I just don't want... If this Natalie person is as hard to find as you say, then I'm the only person who can do this.
That's enough.
Oh, I know that. I know you're capable. It's not about that. Is it about me being here when Mishka gets back so that you can say that you took care of me? His fingers gripped around Sasha's wrist, holding tightly. Sasha squeezed Dima's arm, refusing to let Dima push him away. I know you want to save Mishka more than anything, but so do I, whatever the risk. Dima grimaced at every word, tension building deep inside him. His stomach twisted with guilt.
Sasha.
I cannot, will not lose another person. The risk is your life, Sasha. Your life. In my hands. If we save Mishka at the expense of your safety, I just got tagged in a post on Facebook, he will never forgive me. This is my choice. I'm the reason he was taken in the first place. Sasha's fingers unwound from Dima's wrist. He dropped his arm down to his side. Sasha, that's not your fault. It is, though. I dragged Mishka to the club, and I'm the reason he was taken. Sasha bowed his head forward, his hair falling over his eyes. He lifted... Yeah, that went a little too far. I'm not going to attempt to get that. He lifted his hands and covered his face, his shoulders his shoulders shaking, not falling. Dima stepped forward and pulled Sasha close, feeling a pang in his chest as he comforted Sasha. Leaning his head down, Dima let both arms envelop Sasha, holding him against his chest. Okay.
Hey.
There's no way you could have known, Sasha. If anything, I should have been more prepared. Sasha said not a word, only allowed his body to relax into Dima's arms. He buried his face in the taller man's shoulder and sighed.
Okay. You did everything you could.
I don't even have any problems right now, but this man speaking to me, it makes me feel like there's nothing wrong. Like everything's been solved. Past, present, future problems. I want to hear him say it again. We'll find Mishka. We will. A few moments passed, and Dima lifted his head from Sasha's. He eased the other man back and squeezed his shoulders. Sasha struggled to make eye contact as he continued to wipe his tears away with his fingers. Are you sure you want to do this? Yes. Sasha nodded and lifted his palm to rub at his reddened eyes, swallowing the lump in his throat. I know these streets. I got this. Yeah? Absolutely sure? Why is he smiling like that? I'm in love with him. Okay, now it's annoying. A soft smile formed on Sasha's face, and it wasn't long before he chuckled. Dima couldn't help but break into a weak smile himself. He shook his head.
All right.
Okay, you'll find Natalie and bring her back here. I can do that. Tomorrow, we'll have Indigo set you up with some equipment so we can monitor and assist you in the field. Vadim will be on standby if you need him. Sasha gave Dima a wry smile. It's just the city, Dima. I can find my way around. Despite the day's roller coaster of emotions, Sasha's body felt lighter, like a weight was lifted off of him. Get some rest. We'll need you out there early.
Okay.
I will. As soon as I figure out where my room is. That's funny. Oh my god. Running after Dima was like the best choice I ever made. Dima for the win. Alright, Sasha, can you hear me? Yeah, I can. These things are pretty high quality for being so small. Sasha brought a hand to his ear and touched the tiny earbud that was snug in place. Don't touch it. We don't want to look suspicious or anything. Sasha recoiled quickly and put his hand down at his side. Standing in the shadow of Strexa Tower, Sasha looked up to take it in. It wasn't long ago he'd been standing here with Mishka. And Mishka caused a scene, which got us arrested, but then he called Dima, and Dima told them to let us go, so we got let go. As he stared, the realization that there was no turning back sank in. Even if they were to find Mishka, what then? It was a thought Sasha had pushed to the furthest part of his mind. He'd cross that bridge when the time came.
Mishka.
Hang on, Mishka. I'll find you. Still, being in the city brought back memories. It felt familiar, which was more than he could say about the past few days. Sasha stood and soaked in the atmosphere. Truly a city boy. I'm trying to bend this back to the way it was before because I kind of like stretched it out by like having my finger here and leaving it like that for like a long period of time, and now it's kind of just like open. Bobby pin. It's also broken. The top, like this piece of the bobby pin is like broken. Only this piece is fine. The smell of fresh bread wafted out of a bakery nearby, and he closed his eyes, inhaling deeply. The sound of people talking on phones, kids running and playing, even the emergency vehicles that roared past. Everything felt so alive. Sasha felt like he'd just woken up from a long dream, and his weary body was finally feeling relief. But the feeling didn't last. Alright, so remind me of what I should be looking for. Well, Natalie would never live in an apartment, at least nothing above the second floor. She's a huge penny pincher, a total bloodhound for coupons. She wouldn't live somewhere this expensive. Oh, she has a bike with a pink pretty kitty sticker on it. Indigo, I need more to go on than that. I know. I'm just feeling a bit frazzled right now. Are you okay? No, she's not okay. The last person she was was looking out for died, and she watched it happen. So, well, she heard it happen, at least. Are you okay? Not really, but staying busy helps. Okay, well, if Natalie wouldn't live around here, we better head to the bus stop. I'm not gonna pry. Yesterday was hard. That's a good place to start. Sasha glanced around and eyed the passerbys as they went about their normal business. The subway is pretty packed around this time, and I don't want people thinking I'm talking to myself. Sasha started in the direction of the closest bus stop. He hurried across the street. He lifted one hand to shield his brows from the sun as he looked around for the right bus line. Against the lit up ad, oh no. Pokédex? Tyler. Well, that guy is one of the ones who, beat me up, isn't it? So against the lit up ad, the bus stop's bench, a tall figure leaned against the fiberglass. They were adorned in bright, vibrant neons and a large brimmed hat. Sasha slowed, his gaze narrowing on the figure. I've seen them around the city before. Oh, that's Neo. He's yours? Didn't I see him with the bad guys? That's Neo. They're one of our informants. They're sure to have some kind of info about Natalie. They kind of know everything. It's a little scary. Sasha took a deep breath and started toward the neon cowboy. Wait, Sasha. Sasha stopped in his tracks and spun around looking deflated. What is it? I was so close. Do you have any money on your C card? They're kind of freelance, if that makes sense. Also, you have to pay for information. Sasha's arm crossed over his chest, back still to the stranger. Why didn't you... Okay, no, I don't have any money. Just give it a shot. The worst they can do is turn you down. Sasha groaned and turned back around. The bright stranger tilted their hat up just enough. If I had my fedora, I could do it. It's up there. The bright stranger tilted their hat up just enough to settle their eyes on Sasha.
So...
Hey. Hey there. Looking for something? Oh my god, they're so cute. Sasha inhaled slowly through his nose and put on the most convincing smile he could, doing his best to ignore the voice in his ear. He uncrossed his arms and sunk both hands into his pockets. Maybe. I hear you might know a thing or two about where I might be able to find someone. This friend of yours got a name? Natalie. I'm looking for her. Do you know where she is or not? Now that's a name I haven't heard in a hot minute. Yeah, I might have seen her somewhere in the city. Now, what do you have for me? They don't seem to be wanting to work pro bono on this one. What about an IOU? Staring at Sasha with amusement and a skeptical grin, the stranger chuckled and tipped their hat. Everything comes at a price. In love, your reputation is at $0 right now. So, what do you have that I want? Well, that's unfortunate. It's coming back to, it's karma, because there was a guy who was asking Sasha for, a gram, and he was like, I'll pay you back later. And he was like, you know, I don't do IOUs. So, karma, you know? Need to charge your phone? Well, how do you know you have what I want? A bit cocky, aren't you? Okay, listen. I've never met you, but I know exactly who you are. Nothing happens in this city without me knowing. People who say stuff like that scare me. Yeah. Because how do you know everything about me when I've never heard your name? Okay, fine. What about, Dima? You know him, right? Careful, Sasha. In mild surprise, the vibrantly dressed stranger leaned back and smirked, hands on their hips. The shadow from their hat kept their eyes shielded from the sun. Oh boy, you drive a hard bargain with that name. He'll owe me, will he? How do I know your IOU's legit? Sasha, you can't promise that. You said you know me, right? Because if so, you know I'm a nobody. Sasha fished into his pocket and pulled out his C card. He walked over to the ticket machines lining the wall and scanned the card. Wait, who scanned it? He did or Sasha did? I could have sworn it was Sasha. Hello? Immediately, all routes appeared on screen, including 2 that even Sasha hadn't seen before. No matter how many routes Sasha selected, there was no charge listed. Neo's hand raised and rubbed their jaw with a smile. How does a nobody get clearance like that? By being hot, obviously. That was the deadest response to me ever. I'm never making a joke ever again. Dima updated my card himself. Is that proof enough for your IOU? Oh, now he's got some spice to him, does he? Alright, boy, you got yourself a deal. Sasha shook Neo's outstretched hand with a smirk. She's been spotted in a bar on the south side of the city. South side of the city.
Silly.
Shut up. This real dive. There's a 24-hour laundromat across the street. That's a little vague, don't you think? So is the promise of an IOU. You can figure it out from there. That's fair, that's fair. Except the guy who owes you a favor is a really big shot. So, give me more information. Oh, and Sasha? The hair on the back of Sasha's neck stood on end. Make sure you deliver on that IOU. You don't want to be on my bad side. Do you have a good side? You're wearing a sparkly suit with fishnets and a cowboy hat. Neo said this with a smile as wide and harmless as the one before it. Neo tipped their hat to Sasha a final time and resumed leaning against the fiberglass behind them. Sasha stepped off away before speaking in a hushed tone. Indigo, you still there? Did you get all that? Yep, checking routes now. The 12 should get me there. Looks like you'll be taking the 12. There's one leaving now if you can catch it. He already knew, because, as he says, he knows the streets. Nobody knows the streets as well as he does. It's because he's a drug dealer. He boarded the bus just in time and quickly moved to take a seat near the back. He stared out the window, fingers running over his phone screen. The south side, huh? Oh, that's right. Hey, Indigo, I'm going to text a friend of mine to help. They know the south side. Okay, be careful. I'll be here. He glanced down at his phone and unlocked the screen. No! Is it Arisha? Yeah, it's Arisha. Hey, heading to the south side. You busy? Nah, I'm free. You coming to see me? I'm out on business. Want to join? Could use your brain. There's something I want to talk about too, if that's cool. I got nothing better to do, to be honest. Where do you want to meet? I'm taking the 12 to the transit center. Meet me there. The 12? You coming from the tower? Yeah, I'll catch you up when I get there. A sense of relief washed over him, knowing a friend would be waiting when he got off the bus. He wasn't in this alone. A lazy Susan. This spins like a lazy Susan. No. Not like that.
I thought it was a paper.
This is not a quarter. Why are you spinning it like that?
Oh, that was a nice way to spin it.
No, it's not, actually. When the bus came to a stop and the squealing of brakes ceased, the bus's door opened. Sasha did his best to hurry off. He immediately looked around for Arisha's familiar face.
Hey.
Sasha, here. Sasha turned around and spotted them. God, it's good to see your face. Oh, they're cute too. Sasha, you're running into so many cuties today. Sasha chuckled and walked up to them. Arisha put their arm around Sasha's shoulder and raised a brow. What's going on with you lately? I haven't heard from you. I'll explain that in a bit, but first. Sasha offered a weak smile and returned the gesture, sliding his arm around their back as they headed down the street. I gotta find someone. All the info I have is her name, that she lives on the south side, and she rides a black motorcycle. Think you can help? Tell them she's mega hot too. Sasha closed his eyes for a moment before turning back to Arisha. Damn, that's not a lot at all. Okay, so what's the name? Natalie. Arisha stopped walking at that moment, their arms falling from Sasha's side. Serious? No joke? What? What is it? Natalie? Dude, she's my self-defense teacher. Rides a black bike and all.
Her name is Natalie.
I don't know.
Natalie.
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 They said it's Natalie.
Natalie.
They said it as Natalie.
Natalie.
Natalie. Natalie.
Natalie.
Imagine I made up them saying that it was Natalie, and now I just sound like an idiot calling them Natalie. Is it Natalie or is it Natalie? Now I don't know. Now I'm doubting myself. I hate you. I hate you. I really hope I don't sound like a crazy person. Because if I do, I'm deleting the whole stream.
Embarrassing.
Yeah, it is. Wow, really? Sasha, good call. Your friend is amazing. No, yeah, really? Can you take me to her? Yeah, she's got her own studio. It's under a bar. A little sketchy, but you know how it is. I could literally kiss you right now. Haha, no. Instead, how about you fill me in on why you haven't been answering my calls and texts, Sasha bit the inside of his mouth and sighed, knowing he'd have to, sooner or later. Alright, I'll explain on the way. I lost my phone
Sasha.
in an attack. Mishka's missing and you got jumped in an alley? Sasha, that's incredibly screwed up. You're in some real deep crap. Tell me about it. I'm trying to set it straight though. Natalie's our only real hope of finding Mishka. Arisha shook their head. I know you feel like you have to do all this, but you don't. And I mean, this is so much for one person. That's why I called you. I can't do this alone. And you're my other bestie. Sasha sighed and looked at the row of motorcycles parked outside the building. His eyes immediately spotted the pink, pretty kitty sticker slapped onto the side of the bike. So this is it, huh? She runs a gym under a bar. Yep, best self-defense class I've ever taken. She's probably inside. That's her bike. Okay, yeah, that makes sense now that I think about it. Huh? That Natalie is running a gym under a bar because apparently Natalie is a penny pincher and is tries to be as cheap as possible. Sasha leaned his weight against the door until it eased open. The air inside was warm and smoky, neither of which Sasha was bothered by. He followed behind Arisha, glancing at the many patrons they passed. A rugged-looking man in a tattered coat crouched against a wall, the tourniquet wrapped tight around his bicep. The woman next to him was in the middle of wrapping a tourniquet around her own arm, while her friend beside her flicked at a filled syringe. Oh. Y'all are doing drugs down here. Ari? Is it okay for them to be shooting up, like, right here? Sasha blinked in surprise, his voice barely a whisper. Arisha took a deep breath and guided Sasha toward a hallway. It's better if they do it here. We have medical volunteers around, and we can take care of them if something happens. Look at them. They're getting free supervision to do heroin. It's not much, but it's better than being out there alone in the city. Sasha looked over his shoulder at the patrons in the bar and noticed that not a single person's that alone. So, like a rehab center. Think of it more like a halfway house. A lot of folks that come through here don't even have C cards, so affording rehab is definitely out of the question.